Are you in or out?
I'm going to sit about.
Shut this door. Yeah, I think so. It looks that way. Right. Thank you. Thank you for coming along. Just before I start, how many of you in here are single? Okay, and the rest of you in relationships, yeah? I always ask, when I ask that question, there's always a... don't know what it means, that. So I just want to just gauge the room. Right, so before I start, can everybody just stand up, please? I know you've got a bad... Right, now, I know that you've come in here, it's the reason why you've come in here today. I've just did a single women's one, singles event at 2 o'clock. But there's a reason why you've come in here today. So what I want you to do is go in the room, pick 3 people that you don't know, introduce yourself, and just give them a short line of what you're hoping to achieve at the end of this workshop. Okay? So for example, if you're struggling, I'll give you an example. I'd say, hi, my name is Des, and I help relationship experts.
Hello, what's your name? Where'd you come from? What's your name?
Okay. Right.
Why are you here?
I don't know, good question.
You're in the spirit,
Sorry, I'm Judy.
Thank you.
Just want someone next door.
Been here before.
Back to you, please. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. So, were there some people that are here for the same reason as you?
Yeah.
And some were different? Different. So,
So he says.
There's no need to be ashamed.
I'm not.
We won't tell anyone.
so I'm just going to introduce myself very shortly and explain what I do and why I do it and how I've come to where I've come and what we're hoping to achieve from today. Some of you may know my name is Des O'Connor. I don't sing, so the joke's out of the way from now. I got into this relationship stuff. In 2005 I got married, 2007 painful divorce, with a big capital P, which I won't go into the ins and outs of that. And I didn't know about this coaching, I didn't know about this relationship stuff, and that's all. Always wanted to. Where was I? Right, and basically, I came out of a painful divorce, and what I realised was it was around about the time when The Secret, have anybody heard of The Secret? Yeah? Around about the time, 2006, 2007, around about that time. Look up The Secret, it's basically a good inspirational, thought-thinking, law of attraction process. It's very good. And what happened was, I was blaming my wife, hated her, everything that was going wrong I was blaming. How many of you have been in a relationship where you blame the other person? It was just 2 of us then, isn't it? Oh. No one else. Don't feel ashamed, because at least we're being honest, right? So what was happening was, when I was conducting the coaching and I was doing a self-realisation, then one key thing that I realised from that was, who chose the woman that I married? I think I'll leave this door open. I'll leave that door open.
He needs to be up front.
So let's start again. So basically, yeah, I got married in 2005, 2007. Very painful divorce. I won't go into the ins and outs of it. It will be in my book and everything was coming out. And you're right when I started really working on myself with the personal development coaching, I was getting therapy. And one of the things that I realised was that, like I said, who chose her? Who chose to stay in a relationship when I was feeling disrespected? It was me. And the minute I accepted that, I was able to let go of a lot of the anger. Because I was able to let go of a lot of the anger, I was able to create more opportunities for myself, in relation to the business side, as in relation to relationships as well. Does that make sense? Because some of us carry anger with us, consciously and subconsciously, and that prevents us from moving forward. And sometimes some of us are afraid to work on ourselves and deal with any unresolved issues that we had. So to cut a long story short, I was working on myself. So when I realised about all this coaching stuff, I was realising, wow, like, there's a lot of people out there, especially like I did an event at 2 o'clock. The majority of the room wasn't even aware of certain things, which I'm going to share with you now. And one of the things that I realised was that from the coaching is that we have a choice on how we choose to think, believe it or not. We've all said, oh, he made me react like that. She made me react like that. But who has the choice? You. And once I realised that, nobody could upset me anymore. Nobody could try and manipulate me because I have a choice of how I choose to react. And that took a while because I needed to keep working on myself. It wasn't just overnight I decided, oh, that's how my life's going to be. So what I realised was a lot of people were coming to me, had issues, couldn't find the right partner, mainly women I've been working with, but I do work with some men. And then I realised, wow, these people are not aware of these coaching tips and techniques. And sometimes when you've got things going on, sometimes you just need someone to talk to, especially the ladies. Ladies like to talk. The men are more ego-driven and want to deal with it in the wrong little way. But the women, sometimes they just want to be heard and just need someone to speak to just to hear how they're feeling. Ladies, am I wrong or right? Right. So but then again, see, what men don't realise is we don't understand that. Because when men are stressed, we react the opposite way. We detach ourselves from you and we go away and we want to deal with our problems in a wrong little way. And what then happens, then it becomes a problem because then the woman wants to speak, she then feels rejected, and then the man feels that you're stressing him out because sometimes when we're stressed, we don't even know what's going on. But we need that time to go away, figure it all out, and then we come back and everything's fluffy. But then the woman wants to kill us. So that's how all these things I realised, and I was finding women the right men in their life. And one of the key things I usually ask them is, on a scale of 0 to 10, how much effort have you really been giving yourself to finding that right partner? And it's usually about 1 or 2. You are in control of your life, whether it's your career, your business, what you want to choose to do, and what you give it is what you're going to get out of it. Does that make sense? So when I realised that I had this knack of helping people, I created this wedding. And this woman kind of came to me and she had about 5 sessions with me, telephone and combination of face-to-face. And all I did is just tweak it a little bit how she was, her perception of men. She didn't like men because of past experiences, and once I showed her to change her outlook in life, he proposed to her, they got married last year, and I was the only one allowed to make a speech at the wedding. Now, that was one of my goals, one of my main goals, wanting to have a wedding, but then I've created several since then as well. So where did I take that from there? So what I decided to do was write a book. I'm bringing out a book on June the 20th for single women called I Can Find You the Right Man, which you will learn the information for that as well. So what I'm going to focus on for this session, the last session was more for singles, but this is more for couples and as well as singles as well, because you're going to learn a lot from this, is why we choose the wrong partner. Now, someone could just shout out, why do you think you choose the wrong partner, without looking at the screen? Why do you think you choose the wrong partner?
I think a lot of people are attracted to people for their look, just by the way they look.
By attracted look?
Yeah, physically.
Physically?
Yeah, I get a lot of that.
Anyone else? Let me ask you a question. You know when you just those that are single and those that are in a relationship, but think back when you first go on a date and you've had a relationship. I'm talking about the relationship that you're not with now, and you think back in the first like couple of months. Were the signs there from those 3 months, first few months, that you should have walked?
Yes.
Yeah.
Run.
Jump in a car. Now, we need to take responsibility for staying, right? Now, what we usually do in that situation is, let's say, for example, something happened in the first 3 months that was really big, and you know in the back of your mind, you're saying to yourself, this isn't right, and I should leave, right? But we've all stayed there, haven't we? We've all stayed there. Now, we need to take responsibility for staying in that. And what we do is we minimize the importance of that situation. And what then happens then?
Someone said they were looking for men.
Nothing important going on, no recording going on there, by the way. Thank you. Where was I?
Warning sign.
Warning signs, sorry, thank you. And you have the warning signs. So what then is we minimize it, then again it doesn't become important to us anymore. But it's because we minimized it. But we know that it's a problem. And as you know, those things come back and bite us. And we don't want it to be at the end. So what needs to happen is ask yourself, why am I allowing that to happen? Like for example, myself, I stayed in a marriage that I shouldn't have done the duration it was, even though it was that long. But I needed to choose that, and sometimes we stay in it for the wrong reasons. Children, finances, maybe the person that you wasn't right for you had a great relationship with the child, but then they wasn't treating you right. So what do you do? Especially for the women. Women are more in a vulnerable position than that than the guys, because we can just get up and go. The woman is looking for a father figure for that child, and if there's other things that's going on, but if he's a good father to her child, then she's more probably going to tolerate other things that she knows we wouldn't have done. It's only when it all goes pear-shaped and it all goes crumbled, reflect back and think I should have went when that incident happened. Does that make sense? So that's one of the reasons why we choose the wrong partner. One of the other thing that we choose, the reason why we choose the wrong partner is we don't have a proper strategy plan in place when we're meeting our potential partners. If you retract back, if you're going on any dates, do you have a plan in place? So you're going to go on a date, do you have a plan in place, what you want to know about me, or do you just turn up looking pretty?
I have a plan.
What's the plan?
Do you work?
It's not really a plan, is it? No, but
I was joking.
I know it's a joke, but on a serious note, if you think about this, what's more important to you, your career or having the right relationship? Hands up those of you, it's the relationship. So everyone else is the money. Yeah? Choose one. Hands up those of you if it's the money. So it's the relationship, yeah?
It depends how rich he is.
So, on a serious note, are we saying...
This lady said career might not be money, might not be about money.
It's not about ambition, isn't it?
So if someone can provide you financial security, or you can have the right relationship, meaning you're fulfilled and happy in a happy, fulfilled relationship, which one is more important to you? Relationship. Most people are saying relationship, yeah? Right. The irony of this is that we focus more on the opposite, the career. How many of you have been to any relationship events, read a relationship book, been to any dating events? One person, anyone else? Two. So we've just all agreed that the most important part of our life that we want to focus on, comparing it with the financial side, the career, to the relationship, is the relationship. But then we don't give that any attention. Does that make sense? So then when we go out and we meet someone, there's no plan. But if you compare it to when you're going for a job, you prepare for the job, you know what salary you want, you know the location, you want to ask what questions you know about the perks. I know it sounds crazy, but we never apply that when we're going out on a date. And what I say to people is, you need to know what you're looking for when you're meeting your partner. You need to have a plan in place, and it needs to be compatible with your goals, your values, and your beliefs. But what a lot of us do is we just turn up and expect it all to fall into place. And then what then happens then, it becomes a problem, an ongoing annoying. So what needs to happen is, you need to know what questions to ask the partner to prevent you meeting the wrong one. Now, one of the questions that you could ask, and I always say to everybody all the time, is, what are your goals in the next 3 to 5 years? Don't mention marriage. Don't mention working. Don't mention about that you want more kids, especially the ladies, because some men will, if they want that, they may run a mile because you may be perceived to be a bit needy in those early stages. But if you ask him, where do you see yourself in 3 to 5 years? What are your goals in the next 3 to 5 years? If he wants to get married and settled and have a family like maybe you do, I'm assuming you do, then he's told you from the off. Does that make sense? Because he's told you. Then that way, you know, okay, we've got something in common here. But if he's saying to you, I want to, or the partner is saying to you, I just want to travel, have some fun, and enjoy my life in that way, and you want the opposite, and you carry on that relationship, who's at fault? Does that make sense? Yeah? But we've all been there, we've all done it, and a lot of other people do that. So that's one of the things that prevents us and hinders us from finding the right partner. Unaware of the levels of compatibility, and unaware of each other's core values and the emotional state when we meet as well. And like I said before, we're unaware of any missing or the early signs that can be a success or failure, like the questions there as well. Poor communication skills and unconscious thought patterns as well. What's going through our mind when we're meeting that partner as well. How adaptable are you? Are you set in your ways and not be able to be flexible and to compromise as well? Some of us have really unrealistic expectations. You should have been in the workshop before. Some of the things the women were saying in there. We was talking about how to make it easier for men to approach women. And we were saying to the women, I was saying to the women, avoid going out in large groups because men are petrified coming over to approach women in large groups. Am I right, guys? No. You love it? You're cool either way? Doesn't matter.
There's always one that says something. I mean, there's always that one friend, like,
yeah.
when she don't like you. There's always that one person.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I have to step up because it's a jealous one.
That's right.
Yeah. You're not skinny. Oh.
But most guys,
I've got a friend who's like that.
most guys, he's a confident guy, which is very good, but most guys are not that confident to do that.
It's not so much the fear of going to talk to a girl, it's the fear of rejection.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's all.
yeah.
It's that bright light. When you walk over there and there's a group of girls over there, and then suddenly someone says no, it's that long walk back. It's a long walk. Bright light, everybody in the pub's gone and looking at you walk. And
That's a very
yeah.
Or you go up and ask a girl to a dance, but there's a way of her to say no. But when she goes,
yeah.
Oh.
everybody knows you've asked, because you could say you're just asking her for the time or some sort of conversation.
Exactly.
But when she says no, and it's a slow record playing, everybody knows what's happened there. And that's a long walk back. Especially if your friends.
Put yourself in that position anyway. I wouldn't put myself in that position.
Yeah, but a lot of guys have been there.
Yeah, I just wouldn't do that. I'm feeling the smart one.
So, where does this come from? Certain things that's been holding you back. And if you could compromise and not be so specific in what you were asking for, then you would create more opportunities for you. For example, what's the number one quality is a must that you must have in a relationship? So let's say, for example, you was out, those of you that are single, those of you that are in relationships, pretend that you're single for now, and you're going out. What is the number one top quality that comes to your mind when I say that? Can you just turn to the person next to you and just share that with them for 30 seconds? Number one quality. Number one, what's the must? Must he be working? Must he be working? Must he have children? Must he be honest? Must he have money? Which one is it?
I would say.
Communicate. Don't be shy. Be there. That's quick. All right.
What do you
Okay. Everybody sharing, okay? Right. Now. Next question is, why is it that one? Why is that one so important to you? Don't say anything here. Just think about that, because that's come from somewhere. You haven't just picked up. You haven't just read a book. That has come from somewhere. Why is that number one so important to you? Oh, think about that. Past experiences. You did this before then. Right. Now turn to the person and explain why it is that one then. Why do you Okay. Thank you. Right.
But they also got me hot.
Thank you. Thank you. Right. Who wants to? Can someone just share what they said?
That's a good one. Are you going to share yours?
Go on then.
She said you've got to, sorry, I don't know your name.
What's your name, my dear? Sarah. Hello, Sarah.
But you've got to have a good heart in, and outwardly you have to have a nice personality as well. Is it personality kind of? And you've got inner beauty and outer beauty, so that your, you know, integrity and trust and all those sort of stuff come along with it.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else?
We said honesty and trust.
Sorry, honesty.
Honesty.
And I would agree with that.
And trust.
Because if the person tells you lots of lies at the beginning and you find out, you wonder, why did he lie to you in the first place? And what else has he said that's a lie?
It shows a level of self-respect if someone's honest.
See, I don't believe in honesty.
No.
Trust,
I don't.
but not honesty. Because girls always ask,
Yeah.
does my bum look big in this?
Yeah.
And what we're supposed to say?
Yes.
So we say yes, so we get beat up. We say no, you look amazing, just as you are.
Because the woman knows her bum is big, you just want
So
to
why are you asking the
confirm it.
question?
She just want to just confirm.
They're testing your honesty.
Because she wants her man to tell her that she looks wonderful in it.
But why put the question to him in that way?
Because I didn't go out
Does my
straight
bum look
looking
big in
like
this?
that.
Yes or no? It's like,
And then you give her
I
a.
would
It
say
depends
trust,
though.
not honesty.
It depends. Because if I say to my husband, does this look good? And he turns around and says no, and I go, well, why not? And he'll basically say, well, blah, blah, blah. All right, thanks, let me change it. It does not bother me.
Yeah, but we understand. We want to get out the door. So we don't care. We just want to
He'll tell
go.
you, you know, no.
So no.
Blatant like that.
But why did you get it in the first place?
What do you mean by that?
What have you got in the first place? Why
It
did you
depends.
get
It might not even be a dress. I don't make dresses. It might just be a pair of trousers or something. I've just had a baby, so I'll say to him, "Does this look good?" And he'll go, "Actually, no. Go and put something else on." It doesn't bother
And
me
you're
because no, because I've just had a baby. So no.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But it doesn't hurt me. It's just like I might think it looks good, but in his eyes, like, nah, Jesus, no.
Thank
But
you.
that doesn't hurt me. But I think that's because we
Thank you.
maybe.
Anyone else? Thank you.
Everyone.
Anyone else?
Yeah, we done the trust one, have we? Done the trust
I
one?
think trust is the most important one.
Yeah, true.
Um,
Yeah, I think at this stage of life, if you meet somebody, you kind of instantly, you know to yourself if that person going to fit around your circle, whether that person will fit around your family and friends, and that's quite important.
That's important to you, yeah? Thank you. Cool. Anyone else? I haven't got anything from you two then?
We said honesty as well.
Honesty. The people that have said honesty, there's a lot of people in the room that have said honesty. Is that because prior to that, someone's been dishonest to you? Because it has to come from somewhere. That's what I was trying to get you to understand. Whatever you decided it was, it's come from somewhere of lack of you previously, before that. So someone's been dishonest, most likely been dishonest to you prior to that. Does that make sense? Yeah?
Not necessarily.
So yeah, but what I'm trying to establish is why is it honesty? Why there's associations linked with that. So what are those links? I mean, you haven't got to explain it to me, but if you're saying honesty, it's come from some lack of honesty in the past. If that's your number one,
Could it not be from the past, from like your parents as well?
Well,
You're getting it from
yeah,
there.
it could be appearance, it could be, I mean, I'm not going to go deep
Yeah,
into
but I know what you mean,
but we
yeah.
go off on a tangent. But I guarantee you, if you think about, if it's honesty, it's come from something that's been dishonest, or someone's not done something for you that said they were going to do, and now you carry that on to your relationships where you're thinking, if I'm dating anybody, they must be honest with me because of X. You haven't just said that just for the sake of saying it.
It could be because I've got 5 brothers.
It could be that.
They don't talk.
Could be that.
So yeah.
Yeah?
So you're saying that whatever quality anyone chooses, there has to be a fundamental issue behind that.
I didn't say the word issue, did I?
But why? Because you're homing in on the people that said honesty.
I've said honesty because that's quite a serious component to ask for the top quality in a relationship with somebody. I didn't say issue, and 2, because they said honesty, all I've said is there's references to support that why they've chosen that. Listen, we've all got issues, you know? We've all got unresolved issues. I've got issues. Let's be real here now. So at the end of the day, what we're going to be going, the top qualities we're looking for, if you went to a counsellor, there must be linking in something that's gone on in the past, which is okay. I'm not here just to pick people or put them down. I'm just getting you guys to reflect and just look back into your life and say, actually, you know something, that's why I go for what I go for. Does that make sense? Yeah?
I think for me it was more looking for someone that's more compatible to me, because I see myself as an honest person. I'm not quite a literal person.
So compatibility is
I'm looking
important.
for someone that's going to be as honest as I am. So if you tell them what you want, they might say, yes, this is what I want, because they think this is what I want to hear. If they're not honest, they're going to really be telling me what I want to hear.
But thank you. But as you know, in the early stages, most people are not
honest.
Because we want to impress, and we want to tell you what you want to hear in the beginning, and then when you find out who they really are, it's up to you to accept or not accept that. Was that interesting? Yeah. So this is what we covered. So why is it important to you? But what is the second most important thing? So we've done the first. What's the next one?
Sex.
What's that?
Absolutely.
Sex.
Sex. S-E-T.
S-E-X.
Sorry. He's playing tennis. Sorry. Right. Anyone else? Sex?
I was going to say sex.
Sex. Anyone else?
Secondary, yeah.
I don't think it's secondary.
No.
It's a very
Sex
close.
is
It's a very
sex
close
is
first.
It's not a relationship sex, is it? If you want
What is it?
Can she cook?
When you've been in a long marriage without it, you know.
I think it's compromise.
Compromise. Okay.
I think
Compromise.
This is the dishonesty coming out now. Yeah. Yeah? This is it. I'll just that's nonsense. I'm sorry.
So what's the second one? Alright, you got the first one you said. Alright, the second one, think about it, turn to the person next to you and show that them as well. 30 seconds. First one has to be second. Second one now.
Right, because you know
Done the first one, which is there was one underneath that second
that's fair enough.
It's interesting when you think about Okay, thank you. Right, so that's the second one. Who wants to share the second one now? You've done that. Thank you. Anyone else?
Openness.
Openness. Thank you. Like just to be, if a man's completely vulnerable and open.
No, not vulnerable. We're willing to engage, to sit and have a conversation without sitting next to you all the time. When you have your family, engage with them. That sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
Ask her about the sex one. You said sex. You said sex. Elaborate. Discuss.
Sex is an important part
we're family
of a
here.
Sex
relationship.
is an important part, you say?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
It is. How can you gain that intimacy without sex?
Exactly. You don't have sex, make love, let's call it, with just anybody.
Yeah, not just sex, but
There's a difference.
you do make love and you gain
Absolutely.
And
that
you kind of
intimacy.
carry
You
that
can't
outside
have
the
with
bedroom as
any-
well.
Listen, and as
yeah,
men,
because you can't have the same intimacy
no.
with your brothers, your sisters.
Well,
Some families.
no one else about.
No, that special can bring you closer.
I understand. Thank you.
And no, let's just to elaborate on that, because my girl at the front there is really. What's your name? Sorry.
Which one?
I'm talking to you.
Yeah,
She's ignoring me.
I know. Can you turn around, please? He's talking to you. Turn around, please.
Daisy, come on. We're having an open
listen,
conversation.
we're here.
We're adults here.
Adults here.
We're adults
We're not
because
school.
you're very strong. Your opinion is very strong about sex not being that important.
No, I never said it wasn't that important. I didn't.
Well, we're saying it's second, so I'm saying it's
Yeah, so-
important, and you're saying it's not.
I never said it's not important. I never.
Okay, what did you say?
So what are you saying then?
Yeah.
Yeah, sex. Yeah, that the physical relationship is important. Also important to me is a spiritual belief. If you believe
Right.
in God or
All right. This is what I'm going to tap into here.
Amen.
As guys, we can have sex with a woman and not feel anything. I'm sure women can as well, but it's more associated to men. But when you're making love to somebody and you're having that spiritual connection, because that's what it is, because once you've finished, you know, and that bit's gone, that feeling's gone, and you want to be connected to that person still, just lie there and just whatever it is, that's the difference. And that's why I'm saying sex is important, because you can't have that feeling with anybody else. Your family, your friends, you can't have that. You can have sex with your friends, but you can't make love to your friends.
Well done, Paul.
Thank you, James.
Nice.
That's a little round of applause.
Paul Francis in the back of the room, everybody. Thank you. Anyone else?
I was going to say that anyway.
Took the words out of your mouth.
I agree with what she's. Sorry, I forgot your name, Daisy. I agree with what she
Stacey.
said about Stacey. Sorry. A spiritual connection, because that is that clean heart. That's what I meant by that floating, because that is that connection. That I think that's spiritual.
Yeah. Thank you. Was that interesting?
Yeah.
And nobody feel uncomfortable? I noticed you two are quiet. Agree? Do you want to share? No. I need you guys to know. So are you 100% honest with yourself? On a serious note, when you look in the mirror, what do you see? Do you love yourself?
Sometimes.
What days are the days that you don't love yourself?
When I'm not feeling myself, I suppose, or when something's happened that has made me feel good about myself.
But who can change that feeling?
Oh, it will be me. It's only me.
But you know you can change it in a split second.
Yeah, just
You want
the way
to.
I think.
Now, if you was to date you, I know it's you two haven't said a word and you're the most... You want to share the joke?
I'll share it. No.
Yeah.
Do you want to come to the front? You sure?
You can share it, man.
There's always one in the room. There's always one. I had one over there. She wouldn't stop.
Not talking about you. Someone else.
Right. So what I want you to do, answer this question. Turn to the person next to you and answer the third line. If you dated you, what would you love about you?
That's my love.
Right? Everything.
One.
Everything. One thing. So if you dated you, what would you love about you?
Anything, not physically, not by the physical. The thing about you. If I get the animals,
What would you love about you? Right, okay. Who wants to share? If you used to date yourself, what would you love about yourself?
We only got an hour.
One.
Come here.
Right, what? The best thing about me?
Yeah.
The best thing about me is my family. We turn around for
Doesn't see if you're lying.
Is my family and my friends. The people that are around me that I've taken 47 years to sculpture to know who is behind me, who has my back.
Brilliant. Thank you. Anyone else?
My playfulness.
Your playfulness.
Yourself or?
You answer that, didn't you?
In that case, I love you too.
She walked right into that one. Thank you. Anyone else? Didn't you say everything? She's joking. What would you love about yourself?
I would say I'm quite straightforward, and so I will tell you what I think. Just kind of be.
So everybody knows where they are with you all the time.
Exactly. Yeah.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I'd say thoughtfulness.
Thoughtfulness.
Yeah. In the sense of like my children that I've got around me, because they're not all mine. Like my godchildren that I've got with me, they're not mine. Just the way I'm thoughtful and help other friends and.
Brilliant.
People.
Thank you.
Like, yeah.
And yourself?
Caring, probably.
Caring.
Yeah.
Good.
The thoughtfulness as well, probably, as a combination.
Cool.
Me? When I was 30, I got rid of the rubbish out of my life. When I was 40, I got rid of more rubbish. Now at 50 something, and a little bit. I'm quite comfortable, so I'm a people's person, love people.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
I love you, Jack.
My dear?
We're born on the same day, me and Jack.
Yeah, we share the same birthdays.
Okay.
Different year, of course.
Oh, you look younger.
Thank you,
Babe, that's all right.
I should have turned around and looked at you yet.
That's all right.
It's about that now. It's enough of that.
You're creating a relationship
I know.
here.
Jeez, what happens? And yourself, my dear? What would you love about you?
Sense of humour, probably.
Sense of humour. Thank you.
And you? You're writing notes all the time. You're not going to buy a DVD.
What would you love about you?
A lot of things. I'll just pick one as sense of adventure.
Sense of adventure. Thank you. You two at the end, because you must have a sore throat with talking you two in here. Spirit. Thank you. And you?
Mel?
I'm quite thoughtful.
Thoughtful. Anybody else missed out? These two here? Giggling like little kids.
Sense of humour, obviously.
I think I'm a pretty nice person. I should be.
I think so too.
Friendly.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thank you. Anyone else? That's it. Right. Okay. Thank you. Me?
Yeah.
Do you love yourself?
Yeah. What do you like? Kissing up myself. I knew that was going to come. There's always one. If I was to date myself, I would say I'd love about myself is my caring nature. I tend to give a lot, and I believe in what you give, you get back in tenfold. I mean, that's quite ambiguous, but and generally, you know, in my career, my business, my children, my partner, those kind of things, I believe in that. If you find that you're holding your back to give, then there's some resistance there. Then you need to look within yourself. So it's taken me a while to be able to be like that, especially the experience I had before. But I've let that go, and people have said to me, "Would you get married again?" I said, "Yeah, definitely," because I'm not allowing my past will dictate my future. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Because the past is the past, it's dead, I've learned from it, and here I am where I am now.
Yeah.
No one right, the same question, but the opposite. What would you dislike about you? Turn to the person next to you. Be honest.
To use
We didn't get to
I know this room's more quiet. What would you dislike about you? And don't ask me the question back.
Because I'm not
Okay, I'll make it easier for you because some people seem to be struggling. I'll make this one easier for you. If I was to interview your ex-partners and ask them that question, what would they say? But you need to be honest. What would they say they disliked about you, your ex-partners? Okay? Okay, if you're struggling with that...
Say that again.
If you're struggling with that, if I was to interview or ask your ex-partners the same question, what do they dislike about Paul, what would they all say? There's usually a pattern. If you're struggling with that, then what did they usually complain to you about?
Okay.
Alright? Because no one's perfect in here. Does that help you with that one? Turn to the next person. Thank you. You don't say. What's your one? Oh yeah, of course. Only you're right. You're not. You haven't answered my question. You dislike about you that? The chocolate Okay, thank you. Thank you. Right, who wants to share? If you was to date, this is tricky this one because if he was to date you, what would you dislike about you, Paul?
Damn. I've been struggling. Maybe Stacey can tell you.
Are you to date her? Sorry.
She never would have left me. What?
Paul, you just had
I guess
you had a couple of minutes to work that out. What have you been doing at that time?
What? With me, I think maybe selfish and giving up my time.
Selfish and giving up
my time.
Let's give him a round of applause for being honest for that. Thank you. Anyone else?
My temper.
You got a temper. You would never think she looks so fluffy and.
I think that's why.
So when you basically
because everybody thinks I am. Or,
yeah. And then you got a bad temper. As in what?
I can do. Yeah.
What? As in verbally or aggressive or all of those and above?
No, verbally. I'm not physically.
But you tell it.
Verbal, yeah.
Okay.
I'm struggling.
Anyone else?
I said out loud. One of my good attributes is a bad one. No, I'm saying the same. No,
Let the man speak.
One of my good attributes is a bad attribute. I'm very much a giver, and I help a lot of people out. So that means that my other relationships will lack in time. So anybody who's dated me would say, "Oh, do you know what? He's a really nice guy, but he doesn't spend enough time with me." Or when we want to do this, I'm helping family, I'm helping friends, or in order to receive. But at the end of the day, my time
too busy.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else?
Why are you pointing at me?
Why not?
We'd probably say kind of selfishness because of the background I come from. I didn't really care what I said, or it was just like whatever. And
So your mouth got you in trouble.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Vocal.
Pardon?
Vocal.
No, it's just.
You said how it is.
Yeah. I didn't.
Venom with it.
Huh?
Is some venom behind it?
No. No. No venom. Just coming from a really good background, so I didn't really need the help or the support or the finance. So it's like I really didn't need you there. So
thank you. Anyone else?
Business. So,
thank you. Anyone else? You two?
I asked this, but I gave it
High expectations.
High expectations.
Yeah. I like things done in a certain way. That's how I want it done. If you're going to do it, that's how you need to do it.
No compromise.
No.
OCD.
And yourself?
Yeah, probably similar.
Similar?
Yeah.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Seriously annoying.
You can be seriously annoying.
Yeah, even to myself.
For example?
I irritate myself. I change my mind a lot. I can't be bothered to do something that only affects me. If it affects someone else, I'm seeing it through. But if it's just me, I can't.
You've got a twin then?
Huh?
You've got a twin?
Yeah. And also, you know, I'll do things for people, but I just walk away, and a lot of people think that I should expect something back. Not something back, but expect something more, but I can't be bothered. I just say pass it on.
Thank you.
That sort of thing. So,
Anyone
I
else?
take myself like that.
Thank you. Anyone else? You're struggling, Paul?
Really?
Okay. Text me later. Anyone else? No? Right. Did you find it interesting that actually on the both sides, what you really love about yourself and what is can be quite negative about yourself? And what I would say is even though you said you're very busy. Are you going to address that?
Yeah.
Or are you always going to be busy? Or are you still going to be?
No.
You're going to try and compromise and balance it out. Thank you. The whole purpose of that is for you to. I'm not here to, as you realise, I'm asking a lot of questions. Now that's what coaches do. We're not therapists or counselors. We're not going to your past, your childhood, and A plus B, B equals X. The questions I'm asking you for you to self-reflect, because you mostly leave from here and you're actually thinking, you know something. You mostly think, actually, you know what, it's that, but you can't think of it now.
It's indecisive.
I just don't know what's. I'm just thinking back at past relationships and why they've broken
But they have
up.
one complaint about you.
And no. All right, one complaint that I was always in the office. I come home from work and then I'll go in the office and do this, freeziness and whatever.
Busy.
Yeah, that.
Like what he was saying.
Yeah, but you know, I see that as doing something that's going to better our lives.
Yeah, but if she's complaining about it,
yeah.
Then
You're not giving her time.
Yeah, no, I'm not disagreeing.
Because as us men, what it rightly says, he's thinking, I'm working, I'm bringing in the bacon, I'm providing, I'm blah, blah, which is great because that's how we're made up. We like to provide and protect and look after the family and the woman. But the women just wants, she said, time.
Yeah, and I said I can't complain. You know, at the time I said I can't complain about what you're complaining about. It's about having time. But then, you know, to have certain time away, I need to put this time in. So when we're gone for 2 weeks to wherever, it's because I've done that.
Yeah, but what happens then is the damage is already building up with the woman. From when she's bringing it to your attention, I mean, I've got, and this is what usually happens when sometimes us men, we can have affairs like that. The women emotionally, once they start emotionally detach yourself from the guy, because it's a long process for the woman to do that. And then usually I've got a friend who happened to the same thing, he didn't see it coming. He got engaged to her, and then he was busy, he was doing salsa, all the stuff what you're doing. All that she wanted was some time for him, and then she ended up meeting somebody else. That was giving her, do you remember I said the lack? So she met a guy that was giving her what he wasn't getting. So he gave her all the undivided attention. She left him, got married to him, and that was it. With those, the dislikes about yourself, please have a look at that.
I have, definitely. Haven't I, Jax?
because I brought it to your attention, because we're going to wrap up, we've got a couple more things to do, but bring it to your attention because if you don't change that, it's going to keep happening.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
it's going to keep happening, and if it means like you guys are striking that balance or checking in with the woman to say, actually, you know, I'm going to be busy. What can I do to balance it out to make you not feel neglected. And she may say, I just want you to be here 7 o'clock on a Tuesday night where we can just chill and watch a DVD and I can just lay in your arms. It's very, even it's that simple. Lock off your phone. I've got to do it with my partner now. I've got to put my phone, because she's busy as me, phone is upstairs. And that is our time, and women love that. Believe me. I mean, us blokes are thinking, oh, okay, it's a time, and I know our brain's thinking about the emails or whatever we got to do, but at that time, that's all they need. So please, have a look at that. Whatever it is that we've just identified, that's an area in your life that you need to sort of have a little look at. In unresolved issues, how many of us does not have any unresolved issues in the room? It's just me. I'm perfect.
In what? In relationships?
General.
In life?
In life in general. I'm not going to ask you to share it because it's personal. It's really personal. But there's something, for example, so I don't mind sharing it. My mum passed away in 2003. It was sudden, and you know, I had problems dealing with it. The last time I was on stage, I spoke about that. I actually broke down in front of 200 people, trying to deal with that. I thought, oh yeah, I was going to speak about my mum on my journey, and then it just took me back, because even afraid up now when I speak about it. But that would have an effect on my relationships. Does that make sense? Because of that. And I'm aware of it. And I'm aware of it even now. And sometimes things happen, and I may react a certain way, and I check myself, and I realise it's not the other person, it's my stuff to do with myself. Me personally, that's my main unresolved issue with myself. Okay? That's my unresolved issue. Now, you haven't got to share what that is, but we all have something that we carry on to our relationships as well. So I'm still dealing with it. I'm still in a better place. Before, I would have spoken about that, and I would have been frailing up. So I'm making progress, which has taken a while. It's not nice at all. I wish I had any. But where does this come from? Wherever that unresolved issue that some of you are thinking about, you need to ask yourself, where does this come from? And when you are stressed, how do you manage that? Eat. Okay. But how do you manage that? Like with me, I think of the good times, my mum, and smile, and maybe play some of the music that she used to like, and look at some of the pictures. Does that make, so when I feel like I'm missing her and lacking her, I look at the positives. She brought me up with manners and respect and all the other things as well. And I miss her cornmeal porridge and rice and peas. But yeah. But whatever that is that I've identified, there's situations where you make your partner wrong and blame them in a relationship. It's going to happen. You're going to blame them, and then what then happens then, when you've calmed down and you've looked, if you went to a counsellor or whatever, it's never usually what they do. It's something they've done that's triggered something in with you. Does that make sense? I won't go into it too deep, because I know some people may have some bigger issues than others. More me time. Chill and relax and focus on how you want your life to be. Read books that are important and empowering to you. I'd strongly recommend understanding the opposite sex, why they react how they react, and stop making them wrong. Who knows what the #1 complaint women have about men?
He doesn't listen.
You've been reading.
Been reading.
You've been reading, very good. He doesn't listen. When women, your brain capacity is larger than men's, okay? That's how it is. When you can talk a lot more words than we can take on. So there comes a point when you're continually talking and talking and talking to us when we switch off. Okay? Now, it doesn't mean we don't love you. It doesn't mean that we're neglecting you, but our brain can't take it. I'll show you an example. If you look downstairs, look at the conversations that the women are having with women, and look at the conversations that the men are having with men. The conversation with the men must be short, sweet, goal-focused. This is what's happening, and that's that. The women will link everything in with the conversation. Everything. from a shoe, talking about women's clothes, from the shoes to the hair, to the outfit, to where do you go to the hairdressers, what do they do there.
But it's also our feelings that we...
Yeah.
Oh, so sorry.
No problem.
But we bring our feelings,
Feelings,
in how
yeah.
them shoes might make us feel.
That's right. So then you elaborate, but we're very simple. What's the number one complaint that men have about women? Anyone else? What's the number one complaint?
Say that again. Of.
I'll ask the...
Oh, that's not fair.
What's the number one complaint that you reckon men have about women?
Oh, too much affection, maybe.
Really?
They want too much affection.
Anyone else?
I think it's reversed. I think not enough affection.
The number one complaint is that they want to change the man.
Yeah.
They want to mould him into the man that she wants him to be, but he is him.
Yeah.
And he ain't budging.
Yeah.
That's how he is.
Yeah.
When you met him, that's how he was. If he leaves a towel on the bed wet, that's always going to be doing that. If he leaves a toilet seat up, put it down.
Exactly.
That's how we are. It's just a toilet seat.
But why can't you put it down?
Yeah,
Why can't you put it up?
Let down.
As you're here, I'll go for one of the questions that we said before. If you was to date yourself, what would you dislike about yourself?
Everything.
And some of us want to go and have some dinner and
Nothing.
Nothing.
No, I think I'm a perfect date.
On that note, I'm going.
On that note.
Wait, come back there, you.
Right. Swiftly moving on. Right. So be grateful for the good things around you before you go to bed as well. Okay? It's all about positive uplifting and being in that environment. Understand the opposite sex. Assess how your partner copes when they are stressed with their job, like in during your interaction with children, family, friends and children. There it is. Men complain about women want to change them. Women, men do not listen. What's it like when you're both stressed? That's right. And do you know how differently how men and women cope with stress? Women need to speak about it. Men don't want to speak about it. We need to go away, take time out, we deal with it in our own little way, and then we'll come back. We're less likely to bring up a male.
I'm going to fill into your class.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your contribution. And they're less likely to ring up a friend, a male friend, and say how he's feeling. Less likely. We mostly deal with it in our own little way, unless we really feel that we need to. Women do the opposite. They ring up their girlfriends and talk for hours about the situation. So that's what happens in the relationship. What happens then is the woman wants to talk to the man, and the man doesn't really want to talk, and then it becomes a problem. You must get to know you and ask at least 5 truthful men and women what positive and negative traits that you have. We covered sort of the dislikes and likes, but if you really want to know, ask your friends about that. Be prepared to be shocked and upset. Don't take it personally, it's just their opinion of you. And even if their replies are about you, don't take it personally and learn from their comments and be honest with yourself. They might have a point. You know, they might have a point. They may say, oh, the aura you send out is negative, you're always busy, you're always opinionated, you always think you're right. And you may not think that because you always think you're right. Questions to ask. Ask the questions in the early stages, I covered that. What are your goals over the next year? How does he feel about having a commitment or marriage? What are the warning signs? And if you knew from the start, you can take appropriate paths throughout your relationship.
So would you ask that question on the first date? What is your plans for the next year or next how many years?
No, what you would say is, you get the conversation flowing and you need to ask it at the right time. You don't just start having a drink. So what's your goals for the next 3 to 5 years? You get them flowing, you get to say to them, so tell me about your job. Oh, well, you know, especially women, keep asking the man about what he likes to do, what he's passionate about. So if he says, oh, for example, Paul, ask him about, what do you do? Oh, I do all these kind of things. Oh, you know, how does it make you feel? Why are you passionate about it? What do you love about it? He will talk all day about that. because it's about him and what he wants to do. Then you could follow on and say, the woman could say, that's really, really interesting, that's really good. So where do you see yourself in 3 to 5 years? Do you see how that follows on to the previous question? Trap. It's smart, because what then happens then is, if she wants to marry you, and she's asked you that question, and her plan is children, marriage, or whatever, move or emigrate, whatever it is, and you've answered her the opposite of that, she put, just like how us men put women in boxes, she put you in that box and say, actually, I'm not going to, there's no point because we're so far apart. You know, if a man wants children, if a man doesn't want children and she wants children, how can you can't move on from there. So that makes sense. So that's how you can answer that. What do you want? Decide on exactly what you want. Write down all you want from your next relationship and have you devoted 100% on your efforts of finding the person. If not, why not? The ones that are single, this one's thinking, could you do more? Honestly, if you're single and you're sitting there, it's got nothing to do with the men that are out there. I guarantee you, the ones that are single, it's supposed to be giving yourself 1 or 2% out of 10 to try and find it. Reflect on your past relationships. Do you know how your exes are feeling about you breaking up with them? Review. How do you feel about the breakups? It's all about you. What have you learned so far? And what are you going to do differently from now on? Signs are always there, but we choose not to see them. Like we said it before about the problems in the beginning. You don't want to damage what's good, and you don't want to be alone again, especially when you're tired of searching as well. And are you happy? Hands up those of you that you say you're above 80% happy. So the rest are cool. So this was a workshop. I'd get you to write down 30 things that make you happy, and write down one thing that you're going to do that works towards your happiness, which we don't have any time for that. So, as I'm wrapping up now, this book changed my life. I was halfway through my marriage, and I walked into Waterstones, and this book was on a shelf, and I went and picked it up. Now, bearing in mind, I was married. Now, is that a sign in itself? Are you the one for me? And I'm picking up that book, and I read it, and it was the best book I read in my life. If you're single or you're in a relationship, if you thought this stuff was like thought-provoking, you get that book, it makes you just look at yourself a lot more deeper. And what I realised was, you know when you're reading a book, every spare moment of time you've got, you're reading it, even in the toilet.
I have to go.
Okay, my dear.
I'm going to see a therapy.
This is what happens to you. Put it on video when you come to free lessons. Thank you. Alright. So yeah, so then I read that book, and then I realised when I read that book, I realised that I was in the wrong relationship. So just wrapping up now, this is my next event that's coming up. It's a dating and relationship conference. It's not a singles event. I've got 6 of the top speakers in the UK, and it takes place on Saturday the 21st of March, about half an hour up the road, West Drayton, at the Holiday Inn Hotel. And it's only, tickets are only £20. It's going to be a whole day event. There's a psychologist, matchmaker, life coach, relationship expert. Who's heard of Tony Robbins? Yeah. Tony Robbins too. She's been trained up by Tony Robbins on the course, so it's going to cover everything to do with relationships on that day. There's flyers along there. You can, if you go to my website on the information sheet, please take it with you, and you can sign up for that as well. I'm also decided to train up people to be relationship experts, helping people come on. I'm holding seminars and workshops all over the UK, and I want to train up people to specialise in dealing with singles, couples. So if you're interested in being part of that, just let me know and I'll get the information to you, and it will be in Psychology's magazine this week as well. Those of you that are single, I have my DVD here, which is 21 steps. How to find and attract the right man. This is on my website for £60. I'm selling it today for 25. I want to give one away free. So who wants this free?
Yes.
No one then.
Someone said yes.
Nobody don't want it?
Yes, I said yes.
Who wants it? Put your hand up then.
I'll sell it for 60. I'm single.
Nobody don't want it? Okay, I'll come back to that. No. Obviously not. But you want a £60? Give me £60 for it.
£60.
And for the single women, I have a 12-week, in October I ran a whole day, a whole day seminar like this where I was coaching women from the first week to the 12th week on how they can find and attract the right man. So it's a course. If you have this sheet here, this one here, if you just go to the website, sign up, you'll be invited to a free training webinar, and then at the end of the webinar, you know, more information about that. So there'll be more training in that as well. So it's icanfindyourrightman.com, just go on to that as well. So, that's the last slide. What have you learned from today? Anyone? Nothing? And before you came in there?
It all starts with you, doesn't it?
It starts with you. Thank you. Anyone else?
You need to have a plan.
You need to have a plan. Definitely, you need to have a plan in place before you go on any dates. Anyone else?
Watch the warning signs in the beginning.
Avoid the warning signs at the beginning. Thank you.
I was going to just throw a question out there to do with finding the right man, woman, whatever.
Partner.
Would your advice be where you normally look, i.e. what you think your type is, what your preference is, and whether you should be exploring other types?
Are you referring to race?
Yeah.
With the race thing, everybody, that's a personal choice with the person.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, I know it's a personal choice, you know, and it might start from here and go to there, as in, well, I would, this is my preference, but yeah, I would, and yeah, I would, but you always might stick at your preference.
With my experience of this, you get two types of people. You get ones that want to stay with the race, they want to stay with, whether it's Asian. I have some Asian clients, especially with the Asian community, it's very tight. They don't want to date outside of their race because of their culture. And then you get the blacks that just want to stay with the blacks. And then you get some whites that want to stay with the whites. And then you get some that I'll date anyone. Now, if you get those people that just want to stick to their own, that's their choice. That's what they want to do. Now, I have asked the question, well, you do know that if you looked outside of that, you would increase your chances. But if they're not attracted to them and they don't find them that attractive,
yeah, I'm just wondering whether you put that out there in your seminar to say you don't know until you try. You know, yes, it might be your preference because you know historically
I do ask that.
Yeah, that's how you've been brought up, and that's all you possibly know.
Most people are just set in their ways, and it's all about the attraction as well. Some people are just attracted to a certain type.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I can't change that. It's not wrong, it's not right, it's up to them.
But I've been around the world, I've had quite fun with lots of different cultures. Should
I elaborate on that when they come to the front and share that?
But what I have found is, say I was with a Greek guy, it was an amazing relationship, but culturally, how we were brought up, I struggled with, because I'm brought up in this country where I'm independent and free and have a voice, and there I was Koritsi the Niko, which is the girl of Nick. And he was 90% right the whole time. That's what he kind of conceded. He'd say, I'm 80% right the whole time. Actually, he was so dominant. And so there are cultural differences you have to factor in, just from the way you're brought up. It's subconscious things, things that I thought I was equal, and he didn't. It's massive.
I do, thank you. I do ask that.
But it was wonderful as well, because it broadened your mind.
I mean, go on, babe.
Sorry.
I thought you was going.
I know they're not ready yet. Can I say, as a Greek, we do have...
Are you Greek?
I'm Greek.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we do have our traditions and the culture. And I've had Greek relationships and I've had other relationships. I'm in an other relationship at the moment, but because of our upbringing, it's much easier to be in the same culture relationship for me.
Thank you.
Because there's things you don't need to explain to someone, and they just naturally understand
They
because
get
they're
it.
brought up that way.
The Asians are really tight like that, because especially they're very. I mean, I've got Asian girls that there's some that just don't want an Asian guy because of their experience, completely. Just no more Asian guys. But then there's some that just want to stick to their own, which is, listen, there's no colour in love, right? You know, we choose who we want to choose.
And the reason why I asked that is because, you know, all my partners have been of colour, have been black, and when I did break, babe, you shouldn't be in it. Come on. But no, when I was single, I actually said to myself, you know what? I haven't in my adult life as like, I mean, I went out with, when I was 17, I think I went out with a white girl for about 3 months. As in like home, parents, this, that, whatever, but that's been my thingy. But, you know, in my family, you know, my family's married to white, Asian, the whole lot. So it's you know, it's not an issue for me, but that's what I've always done. And I've always felt, why is that? Why have I always dated? Is it because I'm comfortable? Because that's how, you know, people would perceive me to be, my culture, that, well, you should be dating her. And so I actually went on a date with, you know, with a white lady, and I felt comfortable, and I was like, why am I discounting that from my life? You know, I thought walking down the street that, you know, especially other black women would say, oh yeah, look, you know, another one, or something like that. But I didn't, you know, but I literally felt different to what I thought I would feel. And what I'm saying with especially with our race and black women is that there's only a very small percentage of black men out there, for starters. As a race, there's very small percentage in this country. We're only, what, 3%, if that? 3 or 4%. There's not that many of us. And then you've got to take out the men out of that percentage, and then you've got to take out the good men out of that percentage, i.e. the ones that are, you know, doing the right thing, you know, having a job and this and that, whatever. So if you're looking for that, and there's a lot more, I would say there's a lot more black women doing the right thing, and more in a position where they would make a good wife than there are black men that would make a good husband. And if you're going to then try and target only black men and not consider, because of whatever reason, then, you know, it could be a lottery. You know, literally, it could be a lottery. And so, you know, all I'm putting out there is that until you try, you don't know. You really don't know.
Paul, when you was with your white partner, when you went
I was
out,
17, it was 3 months.
Did you feel, no, I'm just asking a question. Did you feel funny when you was going out in the street?
You know what? I grew up in Dagenham. Okay, we were the black population in Dagenham, me and my 8 brothers and sisters and my mum and dad. And so, but to be honest, and I'm going to tell you, I was 17, and you know the reason why I broke up with her?
Right. Your family?
After 3 months, first time I saw her in a pair of jeans, and her bum was really wide and flat. Right, listen, and I'll tell you, and I was like, you know what, I don't really think I'm attracted to you any longer. And that was, literally, that was the reason why I started. We did have a little argument, but because of that, I was like, no, this is because of her, not because of, you know, because trust me, don't think, you know, we walk around this place, especially doing what I do, and I don't see attractive women of all colours with great figures, with great bottoms, with great whatever. And I think, you know, especially from a black woman's point of view, that we, you know, I think you may feel that, and I see a lot more of it now. I see, especially walking around in Reading, I see a lot of black women with white men, and I'm like, this is great. You know, I think it was always you, baby. We was just counting, it's like, look. And I think that needs to happen. You know, I think you need to open your eyes a bit more, not just try and look for, you know, a, you know, person of your own culture or your own colour or your own whatever, because that's not necessarily where you're going to find it.
No, because I have a friend, she's black and she goes out with a white guy,
and people, black women are still looking at her in the street. She feels a way, she does.
Yeah, but,
I think it depends on where you live, because where I live, it's quite not common.
It's common everywhere. It doesn't even matter, does it?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter wherever it is, but to make you feel away and people look at you.
That's their problem.
It is their problem.
I know it's their problem, of course.
That's their problem.
It's how you feel.
That's
right.
You're going on with your happiness as well. If you're happy with that partner that you got, with black, white, Asian,
Yeah,
that's what you've got to be happy.
Exactly.
You've got to think about yourself. So you have to try and get away of thinking about what other people or how I'm going to how am I going to be perceived.
But you still face
how are you?
Do you know what you said is right? Well, in my opinion, is right, because my sister was dating a black guy for years and years and years and years, and she's happily married for the past 4 years now to a white man. In love. Walks down the street, show business. So sometimes when I don't know, we're from Nottingham, so it's totally different. I don't know about you Londoners. Scary, but there's no issues, there's no problems, there's no. You just do what you're doing.
You know, all I would say when you're merging two cultures is that you appreciate both cultures. I don't like when one dominates over the other. You know, so one person becomes the other culture rather than they're saying, well, look, you know, this is my culture, this is your culture, and we're going to do things and bring, especially we have children, to understand both cultures so they have a dual, you know, they have a dual nationality as such. That's what I would, you know, that's the point, that's the whole point of bringing two cultures together, so that you can appreciate both of them.
Cool.
Anyway.
Thank you. I hope you enjoyed that. Any questions before we wrap up?
No. Can I have your DVD so I can give it to a friend? No one else wants it.
I said
Nobody wants it.
You just said give it to somebody just like...
I gave it away to someone before because they showed the excitement that they wanted it. Shall I say it again? Who wants on DVD? Too late. Yeah, but you're okay.
But what?
Hands on the ones that want it. That's single.
Oh.
Single.
Right, I'll tell you what. There you go. That's all you need to do. Take action. Sit on the fence. Sit on the fence. I want the DVD, but I'm not going to go and get it because get up and pick it up. It's there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dad.